Hello everyone. Today is the 20th video of my database management systems practical video series. Today I'm going to explain the question 30. Okay, let's go to our question list here. Here's the database management systems question list, and under day 16 here's the question 30. Okay, before starting this question, I remind this a lot in my previous videos. We are continuing a question started from question 17. So if you didn't watch the previous videos, I think it's better you watch the past videos first before watching this one. Otherwise you will not understand what we are doing here. Okay, now let's go to our question 30. Here's the first part. Find the number of letters in the full name of all the students in grade 11. Okay, this is a different type of question. We didn't done any question like this. We have to count the letters, so we have to find the length of the letter count. Sorry, we have to find the length of the names of the student. Okay, let's go to our HDSQL browser. Here, this is the database we are answering. We used to answer to these questions exam mark DB, and these are the tables we created inside that database, and you can see we stored data in these tables. In this case, we are going to use this table student. You can see students details are recorded here, and you can see the student's name separated into two parts, first name and the last name. So we have to join these two attributes and then find the student's name. Okay, let's go to our query tab, and let me clear this old one and let's write a new one. First I'm going to show you the data recorded in the student table using this select query. So select. For now I need all the attributes in my results, so I'm using the asterisk mark, asterisk from, here's the database exam mark DB, and here's the table we want to search student. Okay, here is the query, and let's execute this one. You can see all the data in the student table are showing in the result. Okay, let me change the font size of the query. I noticed the font size is too smaller to see, so sorry about that. And here I showed you the data, and now we can isolate the first name and the last name in the result. So I'm changing the asterisk marks to here's the first attribute we need. I'm specifying the attribute names, so I need in the student table I need the first name, and also again in the student table the last name. Let's execute this one. You can see only the first name and the last name are showing here in the result. Now I'm going to show you how we are going to join these two tables. You can see these are both separate attributes. But in SQL queries, we have a SQL keyword to join the records of separate attributes. It's called CONCAT. Okay. Now we are going to concat these two attributes. So let me cut this one. Control X in the Windows machines. Control X, you can use the Control X function, and here's the keyword concat. This is the keyword, and I'm going to define the attributes we want to concat in these two brackets. Okay, here I'm pasting the first name and the last name. You can see. Now let's execute this one. Here we joined the data recorded in two separate attributes into a single cell. Okay, Now you can see we can change the name of the attribute in the result because it's not very suitable as student full name, like that, full name. Here we change the attribute name, and also we have to count the count how many characters in these separate cells. For that purpose, there's another keyword called char length, or we can say character length in SQL. So I'm going to feed this data. I concat the data recorded in these two attributes, and I'm going to feed that data into our new keyword here. Let me cut this one, Control X, and here's the new keyword, char length. You can also type character length. Okay, here's the keyword, and I'm going to feed the concatenated data. Okay, now we can execute this one. Here you can see it calculate how many characters in those cells and display that in the answer. Now if you want, we can show the name of the student and also the character length of that specific cell. Here I'm going to write the concat keyword again, concat, and I'm joining the first name and the last name of the student. So in student table, first name, and again in the student table, last name. I'm changing the attribute name as is the attribute name student full name. This will be the student full name, and this attribute will be number of letters. Okay, let's execute this one and see what happened. Let's separate this one using a comma, and here's the final result. It concatenated the student's first name and the last name, and it will show how many characters in that cell. Okay, that's the answer for the first part of the question. Here's the complete query. This is the complete query, and let's go back to the question. And here's the second one, Sinhala language and literature. That's a name of a subject. Find the number of letters in this word. Okay, you can see in the question they gave us the name of the subject directly. If you want, you can write a select query and get here. Let me show you the subject table. Here you can select this specific name and find the character length, but in this case I'm going to use the word directly. Okay, if you are going to show a value in this terminal, you have to write this keyword select, and here's the keyword to find the character length of our value. I'm going to use the character length keyword here. I used the char length used in the previous one, so character length. Character length here is our value. Let me copy that name, Sinhala language and literature, and let's execute this one. Here, this is the answer. There are 29 characters. Let's change the attribute name because the attribute name in the result is not very relevant. So I'm going to change this one to letter count. Letter letter count. Okay, here we change the attribute name to, and this is the query we use to get this answer. Okay, that's the answer for the second part of the question. Let's move on to the third one. Find the number of letters in the full name of all the students in grade 11A class. Okay, now we have to find all the names of the students who are in grade 11A and then concat the names of the students. You know the name of the students are separated into two parts, and after that we have to find how many characters in those names. Okay, first let me clear this one. First I'm going to show you the records in student table. So select, for now I'm using asterisk marks, asterisk from, here's the database exam mark DB, and this is the student data. Here's the student data, and you can see that class ID is stored as the ID, and that ID foreign from the class table. Here in the class table, that's the table which records the name of the class. So in this case we have to use a subquery method or a inner joining method. In this case I'm going to use the joining method. So I'm going to inner join in exam mark DB. I'm joining the class table to the student table, but you have to mention what is the connection between these two tables. In this case, the attribute which foreign from class table to the student table. So in class table, class ID is foreign to this class ID in student table. Here's the connection, and let's execute this one. You can see class table also joined to the student table. Now we can change this asterisk mark to find the specific attributes, the first name and last name. But before that, we have to write our condition to get only the names of the class 11A students. Here you can see class 11A and B, both students are showing here. So I'm going to use where keyword, and after that here's the condition. In class table, class name should equal to class 11A. Okay, you can see only the class 11A students details are showing here. Now we can change this asterisk marks to show specific attributes only. So in student table, first name, and also I want to show in our result the last name of the student. Okay, now let's execute this one. Here you can see only the first name and the last name are showing here. Now we can cut this one and write our keyword to concat this data. So concat, here we are feeding the details in these two attributes, first name and last name. Let's paste them. Let's execute this one. Here the details are concated. Now we can again feed the concated data into our new keyword character length or char length to calculate how many characters are in that result. So char length, and here's the result. Okay, let's execute this one. Here only the only the length of those characters are showing here. Now we can change the attribute to our desired attribute. So here's the as keyword, and after that I'm changing it to letter count here. That's the final answer, and if you want you can also modify this query to show the first name and also the last name of the student. So in student table I want to show the first name of the student and also the last name of the student, and then show the character length of those names. Here's the last part of our query, and this is the query we used to get this answer, and we completed the third part of the question. Here's the fourth one. Prepare the first name of all grade 11B students in capital letters. Okay, here's another new question. We have to change the case of the first name of grade 11B students to upper cases. Like we have to change the case to capital letters. Okay, let's go back to our Haley SQL browser and clear this query. First, I'm going to show you the records recorded in student table. Select asterisk from exam mark DB student table. Is the answer list, and again you can see we have to filter this data using the class name, class 11B. So again we have to join the class table to this table too. So I'm joining the class table in exam mark database. Okay, and here's the connection between these two tables. The class ID in class table should equal to the student ID, the class ID in student table. That's the connection, and here we join the student table and also the class table. Now we can write our connect condition where the class in the class table class name should equal to class 11B. Here these are the data of the students who are in class 11B. Now we can change the names of the student, but before that first we have to filter the data, filter the first name of these students. So in student table I need to get the first name details only. Here only the first name details are showing here. Now let me cut this one. There's another keyword to change the values. You can see only the first character is in uppercase, other characters are in lowercase. There's a keyword called upper to change these mixed cases into upper cases. So upper, this is the keyword, and we can feed the first name of the students to change them to upper cases. So let me copy that one here in student table first name, and those data will be showing in upper cases. Here this is the answer. You can see everything changed to upper cases, and also we can change the attribute name of the answer using the keyword as, and here's the new attribute name. It should be first name in capital letters, like that. Okay, this is the new attribute name, and also we can connect the, this is the additional part, we can connect the previous or existing first name. So in student table the regular first name should show 2. Here this is the regular one and this is the changed one. Now that's the answer for the fourth part of the question. This is the query we used to get that answer. We completed this part, and let's go to the fifth part. Prepare the names of all the subjects in simple letters. Now we have to do the opposite part of the fourth part of the question. We change the names, the characters of the first name of the class 11B students into upper cases. In this case, we have to change the names of the subjects into lower cases. Okay, let's go back to our HDSQL browser and clear this old one, and let's select the details of the subject table. Here's the subject table. We can write a select query that table and get all the details. I'm using the asterisk mark, and in the exam mark DB, here's the table name subject. Okay, let's execute this one here. These are the data, subject ID and subject name. But in this case, we need only the subject name. So I'm changing this asterisk marks to mark to subject. In subject table, I need the subject name. Okay, here's the subject name, and we can use, there's a keyword. Let me cut this one. There's a keyword called lower. This is the keyword lower. This will do the opposite action of the keyword upper. Okay, I'm feeding the subject name into this keyword lower, and let's execute this one. You can see when I execute this query, the first only the first letter of this subjects are in upper cases, but all of the letters will be converted into lower cases. Here you can see all the letters converted into lower cases after I execute this query. And also we can change the attribute name as subject name in simple letters, like that. We can change this to any attribute name. So here I choose that this attribute subject name in simple letters. And we can also show the previous one here, previous subject name. Here subject, I need the name of the subject. This is the regular one. Here this is the normal one, and this is the converted result into lower cases. Okay, that's the answer, and this is the query we used to get that answer. We completed the 5th part of the question. Now here's the last part. Find the average of the marks obtained by Amanda Moses student in class 11A in all term examinations in subject of science. This is the same kind of question we did in previous videos. We have to find the average of this student Amanda Moses, who studies in grade 11A, and we have to find only the average of the science subject in all terms. Okay, let's go to our HDSQL browser again. Let's clear this old one. Now I'm going to show you the details related to this question. Here in the student table, you can see this is the table we use to get record the students details, and also this table, the student exam mark record table, is the table we use to store the marks of the students with subject ID and also exam ID, and with the student exam student index number. So this table will be the main table, because this table has connections to all other tables, student table and also subject table and exam term table. And again we have to join the class table too, because in the question we have to write another conditions. It's better we write another conditions to class 11A too. So I'm going to join these 3 tables together first. So here's the first one. Select. For now I'm using the asterisk mark. Asterisk from, here's the first table, exam mark DB, and I'm joining the student table, inner join. This is the joining method, and again exam mark DB, I'm joining the class table to this one. and here's the connection. The class ID in class table should equal to the class ID in student table. Okay, here we joined our first table. Let's execute this one here. First two tables, and again inner join, I'm joining the main table, the student exam mark record table, to this table list, and in exam mark DB, student exam mark record table. And here's the connection on the index number in student table should equal to the the index number in student exam mark record table. Let's execute this one too. Here we join these three tables, inner join. I'm joining the last two tables, exam term and subject table. So here's the first one. I'm joining the subject table in exam mark DB, the subject table. On, here's the connection. The subject ID in subject table should equal to the subject ID in student exam mark record table. Here we join the subject table too, and here's the last one, inner join. In exam mark DB, I'm joining the exam term table on this the connection. Here's the connection. The exam ID, the term ID in exam term table should equal to the exam ID recorded in student exam mark record table. Okay, that's the connection, and here we combine all four tables together. Actually, we don't have to connect the exam term table here, because we have to find all the details related to all the terms. So it's not necessary to join this table. So let me cut this one, and it's enough. These four tables are enough to do our work, because we have to write the conditions to subject table and the student table and the class table only. Okay, here we joined all four tables: student, class, subject, and student, class, subject, and student exam mark record table. Now here's the first condition, where first I'm filtering the data using the first name and the last name of this student. So in student table, student first name should equal to, let's copy that name. Let's go to the student table and copy the name Amanda, and the last name should be in student table. The last name should recorded as Moses. Okay, we filter the data using the student's name. Here only the student Amanda Moses are showing in the result, and here you can see the records related to three subjects: mathematics, science, and Sinhala. But we need only the science subject marks of the science subject. So I'm again using the AND keyword. I'm going to use the AND keyword again, and here in the subject table, subject name should equal to science. Here you can see only the science details are showing here, but this is the final answer. But it's better we filter the data using the class table too, because in the question you can see we have to filter that one too. So in class table, class class name should equal to class 11A. Here, this is the final answer. Now we can find the average of the students. So I'm going to use the keyword ABG. You saw that this keyword in my previous videos, and I'm feeding the students mark. So in student exam mark record table, I need to find the average of the marks. So these 2 marks here, you can see 75 and 85 will be will add and then divided by 2. Okay, here let's execute this one. This is the answer, 80. The average is 80. Now we can change the attribute name to a more suitable one, like average marks, and this is the final answer. Here, this is the query we used to get that answer, and we completed the 6th part of the question. And I think that's it for this video. Let's see you in the next one. Thank you very much for watching.